almost dead too. Plan B might not work either. Well, first of all, there's something really badly wrong with my phone battery, so...
Do you like cashews, Brandon?
Cashews. Not so much, no.
Okay.
Okay, so my phone's at 10% and my computer's at 10%, so I'm ready.
That's lovely.
We're going to see what we can do. That's kind of cute.
It's strawberry chew. It tastes like strawberry flavored Bubblicious gum. It's really good.
I like Bubblicious.
Me too. It'll wear your jaw out though. You'll be like, oh, trying to chew that gum.
Yeah, so does other things wear my jaw out, but
Yeah.
I just keep going. Just
Yeah.
like the bubble gum.
Right. You'll be like, we must prevail. This is Sparta. We're no chumps.
Right?
Edit. Why are we... Why do I have to schedule this?
Schedule what?
A live stream.
I don't know.
Oh, let's do this.
Are we recording on that thing yet? Oh. What do you have? What are you sitting in?
Lounge chair.
That is not allowed. That is like, you have a lot of crumbs in that thing.
I know. It was from the...
I like chairs like that though, because they have the cup holders.
Well, no, he had like, he like murdered a cracker or something in it.
What did we
Oh,
have
man.
last time? We had donuts. We had...
All right. I think we had donuts and bread. Bread and dip. Bread and dip.
Yeah, it was the bread.
Bread and butter.
Not even butter. It was like a
Nut and butter.
bacon dip or some shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great either. It was just bread and dip.
Doug.
I'm ready.
Well, that's cool and all.
But you're not. Boy. What am I at? 9%? I'm at 9%. I am so glad I emailed it to myself because
Okay, we don't have the intro. I don't.
you don't have the intro? What
we don't have
happened?
the intro. We can do it with our mouths.
Rashawn and I were just talking about the things we could do with our mouths.
Exactly.
Anyways, I started recording.
Did you?
No, not yet. No, I have.
Oh.
Da-na-na-na-na.
What kind of intro is that? Da-da-da-da-da.
It's
Ba-bum.
the-
All right. Do you want me to just start this shindig?
I guess.
Hey, you true crime freaks and geeks. This is Shelly.
My name is Brandon.
This Rashawn.
And you're listening to A Beer.
A crime?
I tell.
Oh, I heard that
Yeah.
time.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah. So Rashawn is trying the Busch Light Peach, and I think it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it has like a peach flavor, and you can't even taste like the beer. It's just
It's got a little hint at the end, but
Right.
yeah, it's a peachy.
It's very peachy.
I love peach, so I'm
See,
looking
they
forward to trying
came
it next.
out with the Busch Light Apple
Yeah.
last time, and at first I was a fan, but then I wasn't because
Right.
you can't sit down and drink Busch Light Apple all day long. Like you could have like 2 or 3 beers, and you're like, all right, this is enough.
Right.
But with Busch Light Peach, I could probably sit down and drink it all day long.
Yeah. I like the peach. It gives a mellow, like, take to it.
I don't know. I'll find out next
It's
episode.
different, for sure.
I was just glad to open this one up and get rid of the wine taste because I tried the wine and I am not a wino.
Yeah, I brought in today some Taylor
I'm
port.
not.
And it's been like just going all over TikTok, so I just decided to give my take on it. And it basically tastes like grape juice. I see what people are talking about. It's
Yeah,
very
it's
Unless you
Yeah.
hate
what is it
wine like
called?
me.
What is it called? Taylor
port.
Taylor port.
Yeah, so definitely try it out. I think it's worth it in my opinion. It has a very if you're a sweet wine drinker for sure, then it's your drink for sure.
I don't know. It tasted like grapes coming out of an ass to me, but that's beside the point.
I like it.
Oh,
I mean, that was my opinion. But
I love it.
well, today we are doing a back to school episode for all you kiddos. You know,
Heck yeah.
heading back to school.
Yes.
So I had several news sources for this story, and I'll try to link all of them in the show notes. But my main one was Erin McLean, the story from Snapped, and then an article from Katie Allison Ganyu, I think is how she pronounces it. I'm not sure. And it was called Erin McLean, It Was a Huge Mistake.
Oh God.
Man, nothing like being a mistake.
Oh, this is a ginormous mistake. Most articles and news stories were told from Eric's point of view, and whereas the article that Katie had done, she had actually interviewed Erin, and it's the only interview I have found so far with Erin in it. So I kind of tried to balance the he said, she said bullshit and try to give a fair point of view throughout the entire story. So I'm going to say this is like a 40% accurate story. But it's
Lovely.
Gotta love he said she should.
I know. He said she shed. That's what I heard you say.
Did I?
By the seashore.
By the she
He said she said by seashore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a drink.
Yes.
yeah, normally I try to do all fact based, but there's not a lot of facts in the story because literally they were both like, well, this is what happened. And the other one's like, well, this is what happened. Yeah. So
That's what makes it juicy, though.
this is juicy, let me tell
Ooh.
ya.
The juicy, the better.
On Saturday, March 10th, 2007, 911 dispatch received a call from Eric McLean. He told the operator that there was an intruder in his home. The operator asked him how he knew this person was an intruder, and Eric replied, well, this person is trespassing. So,
Okay.
I mean,
I mean,
I mean, that's
can't argue
valid.
with that. That's very valid.
this is literally from the transcript. I'm not even messing with you guys.
But how do you
no,
know?
he's
Like, how are you sure? Well,
for one, he's in my house. I don't know this person, so therefore,
he's
he's
trespassing.
yeah,
He's holding me at gunpoint.
yeah.
But how do you know?
I'm blindfolded.
So the operator asked for the location of the intruder, which Eric replied, 2424 Coker Avenue, Knoxville, Tennessee. She was about to dispatch officers when Eric told her that the man was finally leaving his home. 7 minutes later, a woman called 911. She told the operator their husband had just killed someone.
What?
Yeah. The operator asked her for the address, and the woman replied, 2424 Coker Avenue. He shot him. Hurry, hurry. Please save him.
Oh no.
Oh god.
So what happened in those 7 minutes? Who's Eric McLean? And this
Did he
is-
come back and just shoot him?
Well, hang on. This is going to be the
That's
story
weird.
of the tragic Knoxville love triangle.
I was gonna say something doesn't add up.
Yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah. The whole.
Math is not mathing.
Oh, this is a story.
I think what happened was the guy never actually left his house. That the husband was the guy living there that called the cops for the trespasser, and then he shot him,
Right.
and then said he left, but he didn't. And then the wife called the police.
Okay, well, you're going to find out.
Okay.
So Eric McLean was born in 1975 to Norma and Tanya McLean. Norman, not Norma.
Drink.
That's definitely a mess up. Norman and Tanya McLean. He had a brother named Scott and grew up around the Knoxville area. His parents were deeply religious and instilled this in Eric. While Eric was growing up, he grew to love music. He played the drums, and by the time he was in college, he was in multiple bands playing gigs all over Knoxville. He attended the University of Tennessee and was planning on getting a degree in education to become a music teacher. One night when Eric was 18, he decided to go to a coffee house for poetry night. You gotta love the 90s.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Let me just say, the coffee house's poetry night, I'm telling you, they slap. They do.
no, they snap.
Oh, no. Oh, that's what you did there. They snap. They do. They snap, man. Man, I'm telling you, get up there and be like, this poem is called "My Mother Didn't Love Me." You know, and you just
It's because like
it's
half the
chef's
crowd's
kiss.
relating.
Chef's kiss.
So that night, he meets 16-year-old Erin Myers. Erin didn't have the same white picket fence upbringing that Eric had. Erin's parents had divorced when she was young, and she was passed between family members. When Erin got to her teenage years, she moved to Knoxville, and she hung out with the artsy kids and the music kids, which led her to being in that coffee house that night. Now, Erin was in complete awe of Eric. She couldn't believe that a college boy in a band wanted to date her, and Eric fell hard for Erin. And when she graduated high school in 1995, they moved in together.
Hold up. You just said college?
Yeah, he was in college. She was in high school.
She wasn't even graduated high school yet.
Red
Right.
flag. That's a red flag right there.
Which part?
The
There's a lot of red
because
flags in
he-
that
You said
sentence.
he's in college.
Yeah, he's 18. She's
she's not-
16.
Whew. Yeah.
Oh, he's 18?
Yeah.
But
I was thinking he'd be like 21 or something.
right.
No, I said he was 18.
And she's in high school, right?
Yeah, she was 16.
16.
Yeah.
So it's like
2
she's like
years.
sophomore year in high school.
Yeah. Junior. She was a junior.
Oh,
then.
junior.
Yeah. Because in the 90s, you could go to school earlier.
And they met at the coffee shop.
Yeah. Poetry night.
Yeah.
Because my mama didn't love me.
Yeah, that's just. I just don't. If I was her, I'd be like, you sure? I just,
Well, they have a lot of. Let's get
Okay.
Kyowen on their relationship because it's
Alright.
going to be a roller coaster. They saved up blah, 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 blah. We're going to try this again.
We're going to drink.
Ooh. Swig.
They saved up enough money to buy a house at 2424 Coker Avenue. Even though Erin was only 17, according to her, they decided to plan on having a baby together. According to Eric, the baby wasn't planned. So this is the first he said she should.
She should.
Yep.
You got everybody fucked up now.
I know.
You're welcome.
During the pregnancy, the couple broke up, but they were able to work things out, and they got married in 1996 after the birth of their first son. 3 years later, the couple had their second son.
I was like, the kids having kids now?
No, they kind of are. They're only like,
Runs in the family.
I think they
The Brady
were,
brunch.
I think Erin was only like 18 when she got married, if I remember reading this right.
Wow.
This sounds
Yeah.
about right.
18 and he was like 20, or it was 19 or 21, something like that. 19 and 21.
Okay.
So they were pretty young. Erin didn't want to be a stay-at-home mom. She wanted to be a teacher. So Eric put aside his education and put it all on hold in order for Erin to go to school. Eric worked several jobs at a time. He was delivering pizzas. He'd be a taxi driver. He would help his dad with his real estate rentals. Also, Erin could go to school. They took turns taking care of the kids during this time, too. Erin graduated in 2002 with honors from the University of Tennessee, and then went on to get her master's degree in literature in Indiana. She got like a scholarship to some college there. And the whole family relocated to Bloomington, Indiana. According to Erin, Eric was not always the model husband. She claimed that sometimes he would just snap. She said that in the early 1990s, Eric was arrested in Loudoun County for attempting to shoot a young man with a crossbow. But this incident,
What?
but this incident was expunged from his record, probably because he was a minor.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
In 2001, while they were still in Knoxville, Tennessee, the couple were fighting in the driveway inside one of their vehicles. Erin was accusing Eric of cheating on her, and he got so mad that he rammed the vehicle they were sitting in into one of their other vehicles that was parked in the same driveway.
What? So they were in the driveway, parked.
Right. So they're sitting in one vehicle,
Yeah.
like fighting, and then he's just like, "I'm pissed, so I'm going to turn this car on and drive it into your vehicle right in front of me."
Honestly, if it was me, and we were arguing, and this one just that's it, just to turn on the car, crank the ignition, just go. I would just laugh. I'd be like, "It's on your insurance," you know, like what? And like it's just why.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now that they were in Indiana, Erin woke up to find Eric standing over her with a Bowie knife. Erin was able to wrestle the knife away from Eric and throw it into a dumpster, but she never reported any of these incidences to the police. So, after Erin got her master's degree, the family decided to move back to Knoxville, Tennessee. Eric decided that he wasn't going to put his education on hold any longer and enrolled in his the college that he had left, the University of Tennessee, to get his degree in music and education. Now, besides his schooling, Eric was still working multiple jobs in which he would do his homework like on his breaks or in between giving like taxi rides. And Eric was also still playing the drums for local bands. And he said he would still try to make sure he was there every single morning to get the boys ready for school. And he would try to be there to do homework at night and put them to bed. In 2006, even though Eric was trying to finish school, Erin decided to re-enroll to get her master's in education. So this is going to be her third degree. Just so we could like let everyone understand that. Erin had to do an internship with a local school and started working at West High School. Erin wanted to be a teacher that students could relate to, so she wanted to make herself approachable and non-judgmental. With the hours Eric was putting in with his jobs, his schooling, and drumming, and Erin working and going to school, the couple barely saw each other and sometimes would only see each other in passing. The stress was starting to get to them, and it was breaking down their marriage. Erin was telling Eric that he wasn't providing her with enough love and affection, so she was going to have to seek it elsewhere. Eric, yeah, I know.
Damn.
So basically, she was telling him that they basically need to open the marriage.
Well, almost. Stop jumping ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But yes, that's basically what she's saying.
Sorry, it's my intuition.
Eric began experiencing what Erin described as a mental break. He would be crying and smothering her with love and affection. And that wasn't what she wanted. Her solution was, as you said, to have an open marriage. Eric was not on board with this idea. He still really loved her and didn't want to see his marriage dissolve. Right. Despite Eric's reservations, Erin still felt like Eric was fine with the idea of an open marriage and started seeking out other men. Erin's internship at the school was to create a spreadsheet with data about the 35 seniors in her college prep courses. One of those students was Sean Powell. Sean had a difficult childhood. His mother was a sex worker that was dealing with a drug addiction. So at the age of 6, he was put up into the foster care system and was adopted by the Powell family in West Knoxville. He was known as a bit of a bad boy at school and would rebel against school rules and assignments. Erin could tell he was a good writer and that he enjoyed it. So she reached out to Sean's father about his grades. She asked to tutor him in the mornings at 8 a.m. in order to make sure that Sean would have the grades to graduate with his class. In October of 2006, Sean turned 18, and by November, he was suspended from school for bringing alcohol into the school parking lot.
Damn.
You know.
Was it a Four Loko?
You know what? It might have been.
That's literally everybody's thing, especially when I was in school. It was like, oh, I got a Four Loko. I'm badass.
It didn't tell me what it was, but we'll say it was a Four Loko.
I bet you it was. Yeah, no, green apple Four Loko.
Yep, that's what it was. We're gonna say that's what it was. Erin attended his suspension hearing in support of Sean, but she was advised by her mentor to stay away from Sean after the hearing. She needed to keep a professional distance from her students. Erin didn't listen to the advice and reached out to Scarlett, who was Sean's adoptive mother. Erin tried to get Scarlett to fight the suspension through a legal aid clinic. She then asked Scarlett if she could stay in touch with Sean, which Scarlett replied, no, because she felt that Erin would be risking her teaching career. Erin decided not to heed anyone's advice. She decided to stop talking to her husband, Eric, and started spending all of her time talking to Sean. Eric would come home from playing gigs at night and find Erin asleep on the floor with a sleeping bag and a phone in her hand. Erin said these late night phone conversations originally started off very professional, but eventually became confessional, intimate, and sexual. In December, Sean entered a substance abuse rehab program, but this didn't stop the phone calls. He would call Erin from rehab, showering her with compliments and praise and listening to all of her problems. Erin, at this point, is still insisting that Eric is fine with an open marriage, even though she knew he had sent out like a question to an internet expert on about.com, which I think is like Reddit.
Oh.
I feel like it's like a Reddit.
Okay.
Because here's what he wrote. And you tell me if he's okay with it.
Okay.
I have been married for 10 years. My wife has lost interest in me sexually, and she wants to have an open marriage. I want her to be happy, but I'm losing my battery. Hang on.
You finally lost it.
Yeah, that's okay. Luckily, I saved it to my phone, so that way this
That has barely any battery.
Hey, you know what? We're fine. We're going to go with Plan B, and you can just look and edit this.
Okay.
All right. Here's what he wrote. I have been married for 10 years. My wife has lost interest in me sexually, and she wants to have an open marriage. I want her to be happy, but I'm probably going to have major jealousy issues. I'm not interested in other women, but I believe she is interested in a specific young man who's in his late teens. I'm 31 and my wife is 29. Now that we have discussed the possibility of having an open marriage, I keep getting mental pictures of other men with my wife, so much so that I get sick to my stomach and irritated. Again, I want her to be happy. I know that she doesn't desire me anymore, which means I can't satisfy her needs, but I don't know if this will work. Also, she's very attractive, so she won't have any trouble getting any number of suitors in the future. And men are probably more open to the idea of having sex with another man's wife than women are to having sexual relationships with a married man.
So I want to say, from outside looking in, it seemed like with them and their situation, they were young, very young in the beginning,
Right.
very young, and they were making big decisions at a young age.
Yeah.
Secondly, it seemed like that they're just never on the same page,
No.
and there's no communication.
Right.
And I think because you said that the guy, Aaron,
Is a girl.
oh.
It's
And
Eric.
Eric and
It's Eric and
Okay,
Aaron.
so Eric.
It's
Eric.
like literally the same name minus the last letter.
It seemed like they come from or they were raised where they don't talk.
So
There's no communication.
Eric sounded like he came from a very stable home, and Aaron did not.
Yeah,
So
but they both. It's both of them. It seemed like on both sides that they're not communicating, and that seemed like was what.
So from what I gathered, it sounded like Eric was communicating. Aaron made an ultimate decision for both of them,
Right.
which is we're having an open marriage, and he's still like, no, I really want to try to fix this.
Which it's not fair on his part. She can't sit there and decide for him. Like if
Yeah.
he doesn't want to, so. And his thing is you holding on to something that's just a dead end street.
Basically, yes.
So and that's something I do too. So I feel for him in that. Sometimes you hold on to things that it hurts more. It's more painful than just letting it go.
Yep.
Sucks.
Oh, so let's finish Eric's part of
Sorry.
it later. No, that's okay. I'd imagine that a woman would probably demand I break off my relationship with my wife. That is, if I became interested in another woman. Do I sound like a bad candidate for an open marriage? The open marriage expert on the website replied, yes.
Dang. Just flat out.
Yeah, it was like, yeah.
Yeah, you're a bad candidate.
You're not in it, man. You're not in it to win it.
The expert advised marriage counseling or perhaps divorce.
Yeah.
At the beginning of January, Sean was kicked out of rehab, so he decided to stay with some friends in Nashville, which is about 2.5 hours from Knoxville. His parents were very concerned about him. They felt that he didn't have any direction with his life. He didn't want to go back to school or find a job. On January 5th, Sean called Aaron in the middle of the night, saying that he had nowhere to go and that he was staying at a rescue mission. Aaron asked Eric to help her find a place for her student to stay. Eric at first reached out to his parents, asking them if Sean could stay at their place. And his mother said that Aaron was crossing a student-teacher line, and absolutely not. So Eric set Sean up in a studio apartment that his bands, he was like in 3 different bands, were doing their practice sessions in. Sean lived there for about a week, telling Aaron that his adoptive mother didn't want him to come home, which Scarlett adamantly denies. Aaron then learned of a house in North Knoxville that Eric's father was struggling to rent out. So she moved Sean in there, basically turning him into a squatter.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. In February, Sean calls Scarlett and tells her that he wants to change his life around. He wants to go to school and have a career so much so that he even wanted to go back home to her place and follow her rules. And she asked him what the sudden change was. And he's like, well, I have a new girlfriend. And Scarlett's like, why don't you bring her by the house? But Sean said that was impossible because she worked full time and was a full-time student. He told Scarlett that they barely even had time for each other. Sean never bothered to tell Scarlett who she was or that he was now dating his former teacher. While Sean was staying at the house, Aaron would bring the boys over so that they could play video games with Sean. Aaron even encouraged Eric to be friends with Sean, and the two men would watch Star Wars together and then make up games with the boys.
The boys.
You're
Saturdays for the boys.
You do realize that the wife is like, I want my lover and my husband to become best friends.
So
and you're like encouraging it. You're like, yeah,
so she
Star
can.
Wars.
Oh my goodness,
Brandon.
That's where the love triangle comes into play.
Yes.
I wish I could have been the neighbor. I'd be over there with wine and just been like,
Oh, don't worry.
Wine and
All the
Yeah.
neighbors are doing that. Trust me.
I've been just like, oh my God.
They are definitely watching this show because they like all testify in court.
Oh, shit.
Oh my gosh.
All the neighbors
Damn.
do. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
But Eric was growing more suspicious of Sean and Aaron's relationship. One of the boys told Eric that he seen Sean and Aaron holding hands and kissing. The relationship
She did it again.
I know.
The relationship.
The relationship
Sure.
she sales. Sorry. $10.
The relationship between Sean and Aaron became sexual, but according to Aaron, they only had sex like 5 times. Only 5. That's it.
That's 5 too many.
You-
What? Only 5 times.
At least it wasn't 6.
I know, like, duh.
I mean, the 5th
6 is
time
the
was
dirty number.
You know, well, the 6th one was just an Eiffel Tower, but that doesn't count.
Oh my
It was
God.
in the butt, so it didn't.
Oh my!
Aaron
I bet
claimed.
you they role played too.
Oh,
They
I'm sure
was
they
in
probably
class.
did.
You want that extra credit, don't you?
Oh my God. I feel like they probably did, yeah. Aaron claimed that Eric was very much aware of the sexual relationship between her and Sean. She stated that one night they all went out drinking, and when all 3 of them got back home, Eric wanted them to have a threesome, but Sean and Aaron denied him, and they went into the bedroom alone to have sex.
Damn.
She said that Sean began to torment Eric, bragging to him about having sex with his wife and how he would be a better daddy to his kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
burn. Ouch.
Oh, see, that's
That's-
Yeah,
bad.
that'll get you shot.
Yeah.
She also claimed that Eric was in the house every time that her and Sean would have sex. But the neighbors, who I said are out there like watching the whole shit show.
Say my name, say my name.
I would have had some yellow binoculars.
Yeah, that's what
I've
they were
been like-
doing.
I'd be like, oh my God. Oh, I didn't even know she can go down that far. What?
Fucking bent like a pretzel.
Oh, mama's got a new groove. Like, oh.
Well, these neighbors disagreed completely with Aaron's story. They claimed that they had seen the children locked out of the house while Sean's car was parked up the street and Eric wasn't home. Eric started seeing a psychiatrist for his depression and was hoping that he would be able to fix his marriage, but Aaron never went to any of these sessions.
Oh,
So he's the only one like
Trying to fix.
Yeah, trying to fix this.
man.
At the end of February, Eric bought a rifle and hid it in the house.
Oh.
On March 9th, Eric sent the boys to his parents' house to spend the weekend with them. Aaron and Sean went to see a play. When they returned to the McLean home, Sean crashed on the couch for the night. The next morning, Sean started in on Eric, taunting him, saying that he was sleeping with his wife, that he was the better man. And Aaron asked him to leave, which he actually did. Later that afternoon, Aaron was taking a bath when Eric asked to talk to her about something. Aaron's best friend, who was well aware of this entire toxic relationship, had asked Eric if he wanted to sleep with her. Aaron was pissed. She told Eric he was not allowed to sleep with her best friend because she was too close
Oh, God.
of a friend of the family. She even called up her friend and told her that she was not allowed to have a relationship with her husband.
Fuck you.
What the hell?
Fuck you.
What kind of...
Double standard bullshit.
That is double standard as hell.
Yes,
Yeah, she's delusional.
I know. Since Erin was so upset, she called Sean up, who decided to come over and pick her up. Eric told her that if she left with him, that she better never come back. And she agreed. She's like, fine, I won't. When Sean showed up, Eric met him outside and told him that he wasn't welcomed there. Sean ignored him and just went straight into the house.
Dude,
Yeah.
bro.
And Erin wasn't quite ready, so she literally made Sean and Eric wait in the living room together. Sean had been drinking and using coke before coming to the McLean house and immediately started teasing Eric. He said things like, I'm taking your wife on a date. Pretty soon your kids are going to start calling me daddy. And this is when Eric placed the first 911 call before 9 p.m., claiming that Sean was the intruder. And at that point, Sean decided he better leave the house and go wait outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, as soon as he said, your kids are going to start calling me daddy, I would shoot you right in the fucking face.
Yeah, it's
right
like,
then
who,
and there.
Who are you to just
Like-
do that? To just
Like,
kinda-
that's, I don't care what you're on. You're getting a bullet to the head.
Exactly.
I don't give a shit.
That's so disrespectful. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, why would you? Mm-mm.
Why would you taunt him like that? I don't know.
And this speaks volumes on Sean. It shows that he's a child. Like, he's very
yeah,
childish.
he's 18.
Like, why would she date
He's
somebody
the
that's a
better
complete
dad.
amateur?
Fuck
Yeah.
off. Locking the kids out.
And this,
I know.
And this goes
in the
back
winter, because this is February. They
That
were doing
pisses
that.
me
Yeah.
To, yeah. What if one of the kids would have caught a cold, or they could have got frostbite or something like
Well,
that?
they're 12 and 9, so they probably did stupid stuff. Like,
Oh.
yeah, because
There's kids around my neighborhood that just every single day they're outside riding bikes or kicking tires across the road. Something.
what?
Right.
Why do you have tires?
I don't know. Well, I was mowing one day and a kid kicked a tire across the road
Okay.
and
Oh,
it
God.
landed in my yard while I was mowing.
I bet you were
And
like,
he just stood there like, kick it back.
You're like, we don't.
But
kick
now
tires.
that's getting me to think: are they locked out of their house since they're out?
I mean, it's possible.
every day from morning to night.
they probably were.
Yeah.
And
So it's like,
And like
And
I
this
said, they're
goes-
12 and 9, so they're probably, like you said, kicking tires or doing something silly,
Right.
like climbing trees. Like I'd be more concerned that they would break a bone doing
Right.
something silly than climb the roof and jump off of it. Because
I'm
I
sure
climbed the
they've
roof when I
gotten
was 12.
hurt.
right. And this
Sure.
this goes back to what I was saying about her. They just did everything too young. She probably wasn't thinking through things through, and she was being a bit irrational at the time as a kid. Because look, she still kind of got like she's. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's doing good. She went to school and all this stuff, but she still got like a childlike
Yeah.
mentality because she's kind of behaving like a teenage like girl.
I don't
Pretty
know
much.
why
Like
Eric
been
is
very
letting
bratty,
all this
and she's being
happen.
very bratty about it. Like really,
We'll get into that.
I mean, obviously he's not
Right.
going to in the end, but like, why wouldn't you cut it off and go get custody?
and I almost
shit?
feel bad for the dude, like her husband. Like they're bullying him at this point. Like
Yep.
they got him cornered, and like he can't do nothing. And she just sits there and just like gaslight the poor man. And then you got him coming in talking about some, you not a man, your kid's gonna call me daddy. Like what? Like who are you?
Well, and don't forget, he's like, hey, we have an open marriage, so why can't I sleep with your friend? And she's
Right.
like, no, bitch.
Yeah, that part. And if I was the neighbor, I'd be like, friend, I'll be your friend. You want me to whip his ass for you, friend? Because I'll do it. I will. I'm not going to sit here and let him do that to you. Like, you don't got to do anything. I'll take the charge for you.
All right, well, let's see what happens, because
Yeah.
there's way more to this story.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
my God.
So Erin goes outside to talk to Sean and told him that she had no intentions of ending her marriage and that he should just leave. Eric at this point is shouting from the house that he's going to change the locks and getting a restraining order against Erin and taking the kids. Erin then decides that she doesn't want to end things with Sean and plans to leave with Sean. She goes back into the house to get her phone and purse. Eric goes outside to confront Sean with his rifle. Sean is sitting in his car smoking a cigarette. Erin hears a loud bang and runs outside to find that Sean had been shot in the face and head by Eric, who was still holding the rifle. She said that he looked up at her and said, "Congratulations." And then he got into his car and left. Erin made a second 911 call telling dispatch that her husband shot a former student of hers. The police tried to get as much information as possible from Erin, but she didn't see what had happened, so they were going to have to find Eric. Eric had drove his car to some railroad tracks and started walking down them. He dropped the rifle along the tracks, and by morning, an officer found him still walking along the train tracks. They, brought him in for an interview, and Eric never denied shooting Sean, but he would never tell the police the details of actually what happened either. He would tell the officers that he didn't remember and that he was really sorry that it had happened. It was an accident. Eric was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and I forgot what the third one was, like voluntary.
Damn.
Yeah. When the media learned that Sean was Erin's former student turned lover, they swarmed Knoxville, Tennessee. Erin was surrounded by media asking for her statements. She started getting death threats from people. She was stalked and insulted by citizens, like literally on the streets. Since Eric was in jail and, in her opinion, would be in there forever, she packed up the boys and moved in with her mother in Nashville. She started going by her maiden name, Erin Myers. Just 5 days after the shooting, Erin attempted suicide by overdosing on pills. One of her friends found out and called 911, and the paramedics had to kick in the bathroom door to get to her, but they were able to save her life and get her into the hospital. Erin spent some time at the hospital where they diagnosed her with PTSD. Eric's defense attorney decided they were going to have to get the media on Eric's side and agreed to let Eric start doing interviews with the media. And on March 22nd, Eric was interviewed by Matt Lauer. Lauer? Is that how he says it, or Lauer?
Lauer.
Lauer.
It's
Okay.
Lauer.
Eric was very subdued during the interview, stating that he never meant to kill Sean and that he was very sorry. When asked by Matt why he didn't just leave his wife, he said, because I love her, and then broke down crying.
What a little bitch.
Oh, but come on.
I don't know. I kind of agree with Brandon on this one. Like, what?
Dude.
Like, she put you through hell.
Yeah.
But you have people like that in the world where they just, when they fall for somebody, they fall hard. And,
That's true.
I like, for instance, I'm a Scorpio. And I don't know, us Scorpios, we love hard. We're very passionate by the way we feel. So when I fall for someone, I fall hard too. So I kind of, I could feel for him for why he's like that.
I get it.
But
I do know everybody has a snapping point.
Right.
Yeah.
Like all right, that's the last straw.
Right. And because he has so much love for her, which is what his downfall was, he, instead of just putting some of the blame on her, he just put all the blame on Sean. Because it's not necessarily all on Sean. It was she played a hell of a lot of part in this whole situationship. And instead of him just getting at her about it too, and holding her to her account on the stuff that she needed to be held accountable for, he was just like Sean, because he loved her so much he couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. He didn't have the strength to do it. So that's what makes him a little bitch, because he wasn't man enough to put her in her place.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right.
She needed to be checked and put in her place for it. This is why he needed a sister. Yeah. He needed a little sister, or he needed a big sister.
Only child.
Yeah.
He had one brother.
It would have been fine.
He had one brother.
He needed a sister.
He needed a sister.
Yeah, he needed a sister. Rebecca.
What? When you said that, all I could think of was, hey, Becky, look at her butt.
Oh my God. Look at her.
Oh my gosh. Because she needed to be locked up.
Well, yeah, she totally did. While Eric's defense team is trying to get Eric a lesser sentence, Erin is trying to restart her life. She gets a job teaching at a small Christian private school in Nashville. The school year had barely started when the school started receiving allegations from parents that Erin was not behaving appropriately. She was sending out messages to multiple teenage boys, inviting them over to her house and promising to buy them alcohol. One student stated that she had made inappropriate advances to him, which she denied, stating that she only wanted to talk to him outside of school about his mental health issues. Erin was hired by the school under her maiden name of Myers, so they weren't aware that she was the Erin McLean that's all in the media.
Oh.
Yeah. So based off the allegations and lack of disclosure when she was hired, Erin was released from her job on September 5th. So she made it
Yes, she should have.
3 weeks into the school year, if that. Erin then checked herself into a mental health facility, and Eric used all of this to his advantage and filed for divorce and custody of the boys. The boys were placed with Erin's mom while all these court proceedings were happening, the first initial court proceedings. Then, after only a week in the mental health facility, Erin checks herself out with a gay man that she had met there and become close friends with. She goes to her mom's house and takes the boys. Her sister called 911 to report Erin's kids being kidnapped because she wasn't supposed to have custody of them. They were in her mom's custody. The gay man had convinced her that they needed to travel to Austin, Texas, and once they were down there, he would just make sure everything was fine.
Oh my God.
Yeah. However, when they got there, it wasn't fine. They were living at first in a rent by the week, kind of seedy motel, but eventually, the money ran out and they started living in cars and tents. Erin said that they were homeless for about a year. On February 8th, 2008, a judge approved Eric's divorce from Erin because Erin never showed up because she was she was nowhere to be found.
What an idiot.
Yeah, well, they couldn't find her because remember she's living in tents and cars and seedy motels. So yeah, they couldn't find her.
In Texas too. There's rattlesnakes in Texas.
And tarantulas.
And scorpions. Put them kids. Oh my God.
Yeah. Texas sounds dangerous.
And it's hot. It gets 120 degrees.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good at all.
No.
Not a good place to live in a car.
What's wrong with her? God.
So since Eric was there. Since Aaron wasn't there, the judge granted Eric all the property, visitation rights to the boys, and Eric's mother, Tanya, was now granted the protective custody until the murder trial was over. On September 5th, 2008, Eric stood trial for the first-degree murder and second-degree murder and all the other murders of Sean Powell. The prosecution portrayed the story of the murder of Sean as Eric knowing about his wife's affair, and also that after a while, he basically ends up killing Sean in a fit of jealous rage. The defense pointed out a bullet wound on Sean's hand, stating that was proof that Eric killed him at close range. Mm-hmm. The prosecution team also made the decision to not have Aaron take the stand. Part of the reason may have been because, couldn't easily locate her. She's just out wandering around Texas. But the main reason was that she had such a questionable reputation at that time that putting her on the stand may have completely ruined all strategy that they had, which was to prove that Eric was a jealous lover kind of thing.
Yeah.
The defense team didn't argue that Eric didn't kill Sean, but they did say that he only took the rifle out there to force Sean off his property, because in Tennessee, if you have a trespasser on your property, you have a right to kill that trespasser. Like, that's...
Hell yeah. That's
right.
how it should be.
Yeah.
Eric testified that he wasn't aware of the deeply involved relationship until a week prior to the shooting, when he actually walked in on Aaron and Sean having sex on his bed. At that point, he didn't want Sean in his home anymore, and he said that on the night of March 10th, Eric had made the 911 call to get Sean out of the house. After he hung up with Sean, he went outside, and Sean and Aaron were both out there, and they both were calling him a pussy, and that he couldn't even get Sean out of the house on his own. He would have to have the police do it. Then Aaron said that he wasn't man enough for her and that she didn't want her boys to grow up like him. At that point, Eric went into the house to get a rifle. He went back outside to Sean, who was sitting in his Mercedes. Sean was smoking a cigarette. This is when Eric points the gun at Sean and demanded that he leaves. Sean laughs at him and said, "I'm going to take that gun and shove it up your ass." Eric cocked the rifle, which caused Sean to laugh again, and he told him that in 2 weeks, your boys will be calling me daddy. Sean then grabbed the rifle by the barrel, yanked it out, or tried to yank it out of Eric's hands, but Eric pulled back, causing the rifle to fire. The defense attorneys started calling Eric's neighbors, family, bandmates, friends, all to the stand, and they all testified that Eric was a good father and husband while Aaron was never home, and was flaunting her relationship with Sean in front of everyone. Like, she would take him to band gigs. This was on the stand, and his bandmates would be like, "Oh yeah," she'd be sitting in the back tonguing his ear.
Ew.
During
How are they gonna believe
Ooh,
that?
if I was their friend, I'd be singing like a canary.
Yeah, well, they did. They all did.
I'm telling you, I'd be in the courtroom. I'd be like, this hoe.
I just don't understand how they would believe that Eric only knew about it a week prior to the shooting,
Right.
Yeah.
when she is flaunting Sean
Right.
all
All
the
over the
time,
place,
all over
yeah.
the place.
And you
That
know
doesn't
what they
make
say, and it's true as gold. Ain't nothing more dangerous than a humiliated man.
Oh, I've never heard that. I've heard of woman
Yeah.
scorned, but now
That too,
humiliated
though.
man.
You humiliate a man, I'm telling you, all bets is off. And that's probably what it was. And this has been festering in this guy for so long, to where he was just so humiliated by it all, because you got his friends. Think about his friends. Then their mutual.
they're like, dude, I just
their
saw your
bandmates.
girl with some
Right.
dude.
Yeah.
So he's probably humiliated.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
What is he
he
gonna
is.
say? Oh
Nah.
yeah, I know.
That's why he got that
That's
rifle.
true. That's a good point.
What, you saw her? And he probably gets that all the time.
And then he didn't know what to do. He got a rifle out of all things. He should have just got a pistol. He didn't even get a rifle. I mean, he didn't know no better, but you know, he did the best he can do.
I thought Sean was sitting in his car.
He was.
So by the time Sean was able to laugh, get out, and grab the rifle,
No,
He was shot in the car.
Okay.
Yeah, he was shot in the car.
Okay.
We're going to get to that here in
That
one
makes
second.
sense.
Yeah. The defense team's goal was to make sure that the jury understood that Eric was an emotionally battered.
It's a drink.
I just combined emotional and battered together to get emotional. Okay,
That's how I felt making those tea cakes.
you felt emotionally
I was a
battered.
mash. Another 2 drinks for me.
The defense team wanted to make sure the jury understood that Eric was an emotionally battered husband who was trying to hang on to his family. The defense team also was able to prove through demonstrations that the position of Sean's body in the car and the location of the bullet wounds supported Eric's testimony that Sean grabbed the gun and it accidentally went off. After 2 days of deliberations, the jury came back with a verdict. Eric was found not guilty of first-degree murder.
Yeah.
He was then found not guilty of second-degree murder.
Yeah.
And he was also found not guilty of voluntary manslaughter.
Let's go.
Amen.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what
Fuck Sean.
this poor kid. The jury did find him guilty of reckless homicide, and the jury foreman said that none of them believed that Eric went out that night with the intention to kill Sean. The judge also agreed and sentenced Eric to only 90 days in jail with credit for time served.
Hell yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. But Eric's time in the courtroom wasn't over. Aaron was finally found in Texas living with an 18-year-old
Of course. Of course.
who she claimed was just her temporary help.
She might as well just be a football coach at this point. I'll tell you. She could just
Imagine
she
you're
could just
dating
have a
this-
whole roster.
Imagine
whole
you're
roster.
dating this girl, and you guys are really awesome. You know, you're getting to the point where you're living together.
Right.
You're sharing your whole life, and then all of a sudden people come to your house, say, "Hey, we're looking for you," and oh, this is just my temporary help. Like, the fuck, bitch? What am I?
Ain't that crazy? And
She don't give a fuck.
no,
she does
don't.
not.
No,
does
she
not
don't.
care.
And you know what? She can't even be a sugar mama because she ain't got no money. Because she just out in the tent, building clubhouses in
Now
the woods.
does she have
Like,
the
what is
kids,
this?
or does he? I can't remember.
Well, we're getting to that. Hang on a second. My mic
Okay.
has decided to have a mental.
but yeah, so
She
that's
don't
just
even have
crazy
sugar. She
to
has
me.
Splenda. That's what she has.
I can't believe it's not sugar.
Yeah, because it ain't with her. Oh, Splenda mama. That's what she is.
So now that she was found in Texas, Eric's mom, Tanya, drove down there and was able to pick up the boys and bring them back to Tennessee. On October 8th, 2008, Aaron and Eric went to court over the custody of the boys. The judge charged Aaron with 17 a contempt of court charges for taking the boys to Texas without permission and for not bringing them back
As they
and
should.
for not allowing Eric to see them.
As they should.
On December 15th, Aaron was sentenced to 95 days in jail for contempt of court.
She 95 years.
Eric now has primary custody of the children. The Powell family really felt that justice was not served in this case because Aaron was sentenced to 5 more days than Eric, who took a life. And that is the story of the crazy Tennessee love triangle.
And it's honestly, this whole thing, this whole bullshit of
Yeah.
a mess was created by her.
Oh yeah, 100%.
She fabricated all of this, and poor Sean. I mean, not discredit him because he ain't innocent. Because of
Well, yeah,
his
no.
mouth is what got him his life.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But my thing is, she fabricated it all. And what was I gonna say?
She's fabricating shit.
Just her fabricating shit.
Yeah.
Period. Like she she needed to, at the end of the day, respect the husband and the family that she has at the end of the day. And you got to understand, he sacrificed everything for her to go to school.
Yeah.
Just so she can have this career that she's claiming she wanted to have, just for her to use it to basically shack up with an 18-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Multiple
It's
18-year-old
like
boys.
So it's like a slap in his face because he sacrificed his stuff just so she can have her dream. It's crazy to me.
I thought it was crazy that she went to school for like 8 years.
Right.
And he's like, I kind of want to go to school. And she's like, nah, I still got to get more master's degrees and sleep with some 18-year-olds at the same time. No biggie.
Jesus.
Love is blind.
Yeah. And that was a student-teacher relationship I didn't even remember existed.
No, I don't remember that. When did it happen again?
2007.
I was
So
in,
it was actually kind of recent.
yeah, I was in
Yeah.
middle school when that
You were
happened.
in middle school?
Yeah, I was in middle school.
Oh.
Yeah,
How old are you?
because it was in. I'm 29. I turned 30.
You're older than me?
I'm older than you.
What?
Jesus. You're in middle school and I'm popping
Wait,
out
how
a
old are
baby.
you?
So
26.
Oh my God, I'm like 4 years almost older than you.
Oh.
You look so much younger than me.
I do. I look like a child.
That is
I know. No shade towards you at all. No.
I don't care.
Well, I mean, you do look great for your age, and Brandon looks like a leprechaun.
Brandon, you look nice. You don't look like.
Just a big old fat leprechaun.
Basically, like you're like trying to find your pot of gold and everything. Like,
But my pot of gold is those chocolate coins.
like the ones you
and I
shit out
just
or what?
ate.
Like
You don't know those chocolate
No.
coins? Like they're in those
the
gold
cheap
wrappers.
ones that you get from like
yeah,
the dollar store.
But
I know
I
what you're
ate them
talking
all,
about.
so then
Yeah.
I became a fat
Then
leprechaun.
then you technically do shit them out.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say.
Technically.
The reason why I say that I feel bad for Sean, and the only thing that I feel bad about him in his situation is because he come from such a broken like situation.
Yeah.
With like
did.
he had like no place to live, and I feel like
his adoptive family said that they did want him to live with them, and at some point I didn't bring it up in the story,
I
but
feel like he had like
when-
a lot of repressed like inner trauma.
Well, when he was 17, he did reach out and finally find his real mom,
Right.
And they were building a relationship, and she too, like she wasn't struggling financially anymore. She wasn't doing sex work or being addicted anymore. So
Right.
they were trying to rebuild that relationship, and she too also was like, I would have been happy to have taken him, and I think he just chose this kind of lifestyle for whatever reason.
Because Aaron,
probably because of Aaron.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
you're
was
right.
all because of her, and he.
I think she was playing that mental game of like,
Yeah, she
I'm
was
not,
definitely manipulating the shit out of him, and that was crazy. And it kind of reminds me of a situation that that kind of happened to my cousin. He, when he was alive, he was dating this girl, and they had a kid together. They were actually like high school sweethearts,
Aw.
and my first cousin Brianna, and shout out to her. So basically they're together, and she ended up having like this relations with someone outside of their relationship, and he ended up finding out about it. So there was a commotion between the dude and my cousin, and something happened to where he shows up to confront him, and he ended up getting shot like 6 times while she's there.
Jeez.
Yep. So that's
Oh
what
my
I'm saying.
gosh.
It's like, lust can be a very bad thing.
Yeah.
And you just got to be careful with people's feelings. You just really do.
Yeah.
And don't do a love triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Don't do it.
and know what you're signing up for. If you don't go down the aisle spouting deaths do us part if you're not really going to do the deaths do us part or the sickness and then health part. Like don't do it. Like don't play with people's feelings.
Yeah. And if you're going to get into an open relationship. Make sure everybody's
Right.
in the open relationship.
Right. Understand what the terms
Yeah,
and
no
guidelines.
shit.
Like, do your homework on it, and you can't
Yes.
double. And for crying out loud, do not double standard it. Do not be like, oh, I can do this, but you can't do that though, or I can do this, but you can only do this, that. Where it's like, no, that's not how that works. Like, if you can like have cake and ice cream and everything else with it, with candy
Confetti.
canes and confetti all on it, then he can too. And he can do whatever he wants to do in between all of that, just as much as you can as well. Fair is fair. You got to have it 50-50 across the board, because it should be partnership.
Yeah. Amen, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you pretty much summed up the whole thing. I could
Yeah,
have.
that
You
was
could
a
have done
juicy
that.
episode.
I know.
It
That's why I
was
had to do that one.
It was sad a little bit because
It was sad.
I
I feel bad that an 18-year-old had to lose his life.
like he
over the
lost
whole-
his life, and it was mainly because he was guided, but so wrong, and she used him, and she knew what she was doing. Like, she knew what she was doing.
Oh,
Yeah,
She
oh, yeah.
100%. I think was what is it called when they groom? I think she
She
had
groomed him,
I think
yeah.
she totally groomed him. Yeah.
She took advantage of him in his vulnerable state.
Oh yeah.
And he didn't realize what was happening. He was unfortunately, and he instead just took the bait, and he let her gas him up and fueled him, and which ended up costing his unfortunate, demise of his life, which is just, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean,
And she should be ashamed for the rest of her life.
she should be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like she is.
And
but-
then the biggest thing is her children. I feel
Oh, yeah, I
bad for
feel
the
bad.
children. I feel
Well,
so bad for them.
I mean, Eric now has primary custody. From what I understand, I think she moved to Colorado. I heard a rumor that she started an affair over there too with an 18-year-old, but I might be wrong.
She probably did.
She probably did.
She probably did. She probably
She's
got
whipping that shit all over.
all over.
I know.
I mean, she's Splenda mama, not
Uh,
sugar, but Splenda.
But yeah, last like update I had read, I think was from 2017, and the boys, I think one of the boys was like in college, the other one was like graduating, and Eric had like pretty much primary guardianship, and she would see him occasionally in Colorado.
The sex can't be that good.
With
'cause
her, probably I can't.
I just-
Maybe she does somersaults or something. Fuck, I don't know.
Oh well. I mean,
Cartwheels. I don't
Kegels,
know. Yeah,
Kegels.
I just-
every girl should do those. If you're not women, start practicing.
I do them.
You better. Okay, fine. You're a leprechaun with a vagina. Whatever you gotta do.
yeah.
Guys
Gotta
can do Kegels.
No, they can't. Can they really?
Wait, what is Kegels?
Yeah. What? Let's
What are
see
they?
what you say.
I could do
Okay,
a
let's see.
maybe we should
let's
stop
see.
this episode
I could do a
and then talk
I could do a
about it.
cartwheel.
We'll keep it on the live. But, cartwheel? No, we're talking about
Kegels.
contracting.
Yeah, you're
You
like.
know what I mean?
Oh, like death grip. Oh,
Yes.
I could. Oh,
Yeah.
I could do that.
You can do a death
guys
grip
can
too?
do it.
Yeah.
Are you serious? I thought it was just for us girls.
Oh no.
I'm doing it right now.
I could. Oh yeah. They call me the Grim Reaper,
That's fascinating.
the angel of death.
Oh my god! Now I know all of Rashawn's
Anyways, all right.
nicknames.
So, if you enjoyed this episode, check us out on Facebook at A Beer Grab and Tail.
And we're also on Instagram, which I'm now updating. Thank you very much. At a beer, crime and tale.
And again, thank you for tuning in, and then just spread the gospel.
Yeah,
Yes.
don't do love triangles.
Right, please,
Yeah, please
don't.
don't. That's bad advice.
If you with your girl, love your girl. If you with your man, love your man. And if not, then just
if you're
be
with
responsible.
everybody, because you're in an
Just
open
be
relationship
responsible
that
about
everybody
it.
agrees on.
Yeah, stop the cheating.
And if you want to support us, check us out on Patreon at BCT Podcast, where we do live showings like this one, special episodes like conspiracy theories, and much more. So
Yeah, yes.
we will see you guys in the next episode.
See
Goodbye.
you then. Bye bye. That one was so juicy.
I told you.
Juicy, we're still alive.
I told you would like it.
I didn't like her though. She is a
She's
Splenda,
so
Splenda
extra.
mama, Splenda mama.
And if you're listening to us live, we appreciate you guys. There will be a next one.
Yes.